Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. If you're a video content creator or you're a live streamer, you've probably heard of this software called OBS, or Open Broadcaster Software. Now, before I actually found out about OBS, I used Simple Screen Recorder on Linux to do all my screen recordings. But then whenever I discovered OBS, I was simply blown away by what it offered. So that's why today I want to talk about my top 5 best things about OBS, starting with the fact that it's free. OBS, much like other open source projects, is freely available to anyone who wants to use it. And this fact that it's free can't be understated because much like Linux and many other amazing open source projects, it allows people to actually learn how to use different types of software, learn how to use, in this case, video recording, video editing, live streaming, all for free. And so this is something that I think is very powerful for a lot of people out there who would otherwise not have been able to purchase such things such as Camtasia, or if they wanted to do live streaming, maybe Wirecast. Okay, so this is a wonderful thing, and I really can never argue with free, especially when it is an excellent piece of software. So going on to number 4, it's the stability. Now, before I used Simple Screen Recorder, I used other screen recording tools such as Record My Desktop and Vocal Screen on Linux, and I really had a lot of problems with stability. And it wasn't until I found Simple Screen Recorder that I was really confident with the stability of that software that I really wanted to create more content with it. And then when I found out about OBS, much like Simple Screen Recorder, this is a very rock solid, stable tool. There's been very few times where I've had a crash or have had issues. And so whenever you have software, whether it is open source or not, it being stable is very important, because if it's constantly crashing and it's unstable or it doesn't work the way that it should, a lot of people are going to stop using it. So that's a huge thing in my book. Okay, so number 3 is the fact that this has a large community of users. So that means there is a lot of support available for people who want to learn OBS or who are having problems. If you go to their actual forums, there's so many different articles, so many different people leaving their thoughts, their messages, any support that they have on all the various platforms and on so many different subjects. There's also a community chat feature as well. And of course, the best place to get support is on YouTube, where there's literally thousands of videos on OBS. And so if you have a large community of people using it, then it makes it a lot easier for when you are trying to learn it and then you're having problems. There's probably going to be somebody out there who has an answer because they've faced the same problems as well. So the number 2 best thing about OBS is the fact that it is cross-platform. Now, this is one thing that is becoming more commonplace, especially with open source tools, is the fact that it's available on multiple platforms from Windows, Mac, and of course, Linux. I absolutely love the fact whenever people produce software, and especially from the open source community, that is available on every platform and every major platform. And the reason why that's important is obvious, is because if you are used to using this software in one platform and maybe you use multiple platforms, or maybe you have to switch to a different platform, it's pretty much the same software. And so whether I'm using Windows, Apple, or Linux, if I know how to use OBS in one, I can use it in another. And that is extremely powerful for a lot of people who don't want to have to relearn a new tool or the same tool when they go to another platform. And so what is the number 1 best thing about OBS? Well, it's the fact that this is an absolutely feature-rich tool. There's absolutely so many different things that you can do in OBS. Now, for myself, I use it for very simple things. I use it for screen recordings. I do some gaming videos on it, some tutorials, and also the live streams, of course. But if you actually get into this tool, the options that you're able to do, the amount of control that you have, everything from the bit rate to the quality of your audio to setting up hotkeys, it's absolutely mind-boggling, And then if you get into more things such as scenes, you can set up multiple video sources for your stream. I've only scratched the surface of what it's able to do, and even green screen, So OBS offers you so many different, tools, so many features that they're constantly updating and refining. And since it is something that is so feature-rich, it's going to take you a while to actually get accustomed to everything this piece of software does provide. Now, I will say that the learning curve is pretty high, but once you learn it, it's almost limitless to what you could do with this. Okay, so those are my top 5 best things about OBS. I think this is one of my favorite pieces of software out there, especially when it comes to open source tools. And when it comes to options for screen recording and live stream, for me, it's going to either be OBS or Simple Screen Recorder. And obviously, OBS has way more features than Simple Screen Recorder. However, if you have not ever used OBS before, then I do have an OBS tutorial for people who are actually on Linux. So I will leave that in the description area below for anybody who actually wants to learn. And so if you actually had any other thoughts on OBS or any other screen recording or live streaming tools that you use, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.